Welcome to episode 9 of Perfect English with Danny. Today we're going to talk about the similarities and differences between the two words afraid and frightened. If you are afraid of someone or something, you feel fear because you think they may harm you. For example, we say they were afraid of you. The guards were so afraid that they trembled. You can also say that you are frightened of someone or something. Frightened has the same meaning as afraid. We can say, you're frightened of Alice. Everyone here is frightened of the volcano. If you are unwilling to do something because you think it might be harmful or dangerous, you can say that you are afraid to do it or frightened to do it. We can say he was afraid to advance any farther. We can say, what is the use of freedom if people are frightened to go out? And now we come to some differences. Afraid is only used after verbs such as be and feel. You do not use it in front of a noun. You do not talk, for example, about an afraid child. However, you can talk about a frightened child. So frightened can come in front of a noun, but afraid cannot. For example, we can say he was not going to act like a frightened kid. Another difference is that you don't usually use a modifier with afraid. You do not say, for example, I was a bit afraid. If you want to talk about degrees of fear, you usually use frightened. For example, we say he was still very frightened. I am just a little bit frightened. I was too frightened to ask what was going on. And now we come to another meaning of afraid. Afraid has another meaning. You can use it to say that you are worried that something unpleasant may happen and you want to avoid it. When you use afraid like this, it is usually followed by a report clause. For example, we say, she was afraid that I might be embarrassed. You can also say that you are afraid of doing something. For example, instead of saying, I was afraid that I might get lost, you can say, I was afraid of getting lost. For example, she was afraid of being late for school. He was terribly afraid of offending anyone. And finally, there's the expression, I'm afraid. You use I'm afraid like in I'm afraid so and I'm afraid not to express regret in a polite way. You say I'm afraid so to mean yes, and you say I'm afraid not to mean no. Let's take a look at these examples. I'm afraid I can't agree. I hear she's leaving, is that right? I'm afraid so. Can you come round this evening? I'm afraid not. And that's all I have to tell you about afraid and frightened. See you next time. I hope you have learned something new today, and if you like what you have learned, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and click the bell icon to be notified whenever I post new videos. You wouldn't want to miss out on these videos. This is Perfect English with Danny saying goodbye for now, and see you in the next video.